Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube page for Peacefully Wired. My name is Matt, aka Peacefully Wired, your OCD coach, coming to you from the car today, just driving around, doing work, and just thought I want to do a quick video about what OCD recovery doesn't have to look like for you and what it can look like, right? So what it doesn't have to be, and what you see a lot of people on social media who believe they're recovered or think this is what recovery is you see a lot of people that still use a lot of reassurance. They still talk about having bad days, right? They talk about ups and downs. They talk about my OCD is really bad today, okay? They use this kind of terminology and they are not recovered. That's not what OCD recovery has to be. First and foremost, OCD recovery is never acknowledging a bad day. Because what is the purpose of acknowledging that you're having a bad day? It doesn't make the day better, okay? And it also, you're condemning the day for never being able to be good, right? Having a bad OCD day. Like, I never ever use that terminology because the objective of OCD recovery is to get to a place to where you behave like you've never even had OCD. And so if you were someone that didn't have OCD, right, which is weird to say because we do have it, but you wouldn't say I'm having a bad OCD day. My OCD is bad today. Like, let's just say you had cancer, okay? And you were struggling with cancer, you're doing chemo, radiation, and you're having a day where your cancer is bad. My cancer is really bad today. It's really affecting my day. I'm tired, I'm sluggish from the chemo and stuff like that, okay? How is that going to help you if you have cancer? It's not going to make your cancer go away. Definitely not going to make it any better. What's going to help you more is to just get through your day the best you can and never even acknowledge that it's affecting you. And this is what a lot of people that believe they're recovered from OCD do. I see it all over social media. Okay? I'm having a bad OCD day. When I have a bad OCD day, I do this. Guys, I've been struggling for 3 days. I never, ever, ever talk like that. And the reason why is because the things that allow an OCD sufferer to struggle, I don't allow those things to let me struggle anymore. Why is that? Why do I not let them allow me to struggle? Because I've worked on changing my beliefs and I've worked on unconditional self-life and other acceptance. And that's the reason why these things that you see, these posts and these people are saying, my OCD is really bothering me today. Well, then you need to fucking do some more work. You're not recovered, and you're telling people that you're recovered and you're giving people advice, and it's not good or bad advice. It's just advice that's giving people the wrong idea of what recovery can actually look like. I never talk about bad days. I never talk about my OCD is really flaring up right now. I never ever do that, and I certainly wouldn't go on my social media pages to tell people about it if that was the case, all right? A lot of these people, again, well-intentioned individuals, we all have OCD. I empathize with them, but a little bit of that is trying to get attention and trying to get empathy and trying to get reassurance. People, hey, you're just keep going, right? Just keep doing a good job, which there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, you don't need reassurance. And if you need reassurance, you're never going to recover from OCD. What OCD recovery can look like for you is understanding that you're going to have ups and downs. You might have a day here or a day there where you don't feel tip-top. You might have a week where you don't feel great, right? You might have 3 days and then 3 days where you don't feel good. And understanding that that's just life, and not needing to feel a certain way all the time. When you're talking in this language where you're saying, I'm having a bad OCD day, and then the next day you're having, I'm having a good OCD day. You're focusing too much on what you feel, and you're always chasing the feelings of feeling good and needing your day to go well, okay? As opposed to, now I'm going to come home and I'm going to jump on TikTok and I'm going to tell people how bad my day has been, That's not recovery. And you got a lot of people out there that are sharing this type of information with individuals, and saying that I feel like I'm recovered from OCD. You're not recovered if that's the way you behave. Because the whole point of recovery, again, is to not give in to that stuff. Okay? You feel sick, you go out and you do life anyways. Okay? You're having a lot of intrusive thoughts one day, you still do your life. You don't complain about how OCD is bothering you. Okay? One of the reasons why I'm making this post is because I was sick yesterday. I went out and part of the day I worked, and where I needed to go to work is an hour and a half away from where we live, because we just moved from Prescott, Arizona down to Phoenix. So it's about an hour and 20 minutes to get from Phoenix to Prescott. And I got up in the morning. I felt okay. I went and I worked out. I came back, took a shower, got out of the shower, and all of a sudden my stomach started hurting really bad. That was weird. Laid down for just a few minutes, and then I got up, went out, started driving. Within 20 minutes of driving up to Prescott, I started feeling like absolute garbage. Okay? Just absolute garbage. And I was like, man, should I turn around and go home? And I was like, you know what? No, I need to go up there. I have appointments. I need to go up there. I need to see if I can get some new clients or go talk or go call on some previous clients to see if they want to continue with this. So I went up there, misjudged my calendar. I thought I had an acupuncture treatment at 10:30. It was actually at 12. So I got there, asked if he had an opening earlier. He didn't, and I needed to be in a town. So it's Prescott and Prescott Valley. I needed to be in Prescott Valley most of the day. In they're about 20 minutes apart. And I needed to be in Prescott Valley because I needed to talk to people about that issue of the magazine that's going out in Prescott Valley if they want to be a part of it. And so I told, the doctor, like, look, if we can't meet right now, I'm going to have to reschedule because I actually need to be in Prescott Valley. And I didn't want to sit around for an hour and a half and drive back and forth, right? So I canceled that appointment, and then I went and I did call on some businesses, and I did that for a few hours. And then because it's a longer drive, I was like, I feel like I need to get home and actually just, and I needed to rest. And I look back on it now and I go, you know what? When I was engaged, you don't really feel sick, right? I went in and talked to a business. They decided to continue to advertise with us. During that whole time, I didn't feel bad at all. But then after that's done, right? I had a client last night. Same thing. Really fucked up until I went in on the call. As I'm on the call, right? I am locked in and I'm feeling okay. As soon as the call's done, I feel like garbage again. So sometimes it's just understanding, like, just in that moment, we can really push through it. And that's really like a metaphor for OCD recovery. We don't really realize, like, even though we're having this stuff happen, if we just engage, we notice that it takes us away from it. And that's really like, that's just all the time, right? That's just a way to just live all the time, like, even though this stuff is going on. But acknowledging that it's happening made it worse, right? Every time I thought, man, I feel like shit, it made it worse. I felt it more, okay? Every time you say, I'm having a bad OCD day, OCD is you're never going to get the upper hand you're never going to get the upper hand, and you're never going to disarm OCD if you're always talking about how bad your days are. I have bad days. It still affects me a great deal, right? So anyways, I'm sick. I'm on the couch. I'm scrolling through TikTok. I see a young man, and he's doing a live, and he's got OCD, he says. So I get on there, and I start listening to him. Really, really quickly, I could tell that his life is filled with reassurance and ups and downs. Bad days still really affects him, he says, and stuff like that. And so, I try not to comment on stuff like this, and he said something about, people that have OCD are highly intelligent, and I had to comment and say that's actually not true. And he acknowledged that I was there and said, look, that's so funny that you're here. I actually contacted you, and because I saw one of your videos and I wanted to get help from you. And he's like, and you didn't respond to me. And I was like, I respond to everybody that contacts me. So I went back through my stuff and I found that we did conversate over a chat, and he decided, not to work with me because I do charge for my services. But again, like, that's not really here or there, but what I was seeing was someone who was saying, I've done a lot of research on OCD, 500 hours of research on OCD. And my parents know that, these are not thoughts that I like. I don't want these thoughts. My girlfriend knows these are thoughts that I don't want. And I was like, wow, so that you're probably getting a lot of reassurance. It's why you're where you're at. So the whole point of this is the people that think that they're recovered, that are getting reassurance, telling themselves it's not me, it's my OCD, these thoughts are not me, they're ego dystonic, they're not my character. My parents and my family know this, right? My girlfriend, my spouse knows it. They're probably giving them a lot of reassurance. Hey, those are not thoughts that you want. And they're still having days where they're down in the dumps. It's still affecting them a great deal. That's not recovery, and that doesn't have to be you. You can get to a point where you don't need reassurance. You're able to deal with what life throws at you. You change your beliefs about these things. You gain unconditional acceptance of everything in life. And it just is such a different way of looking at life, and it's such a different way to live life. You become like how the average person would deal with adversity. And what's great about that is you can even transcend that and be even better than the average. Not better, but you can have a different outlook than the average person has on life, because most people don't have unconditional acceptance and most people don't change their beliefs. So there is a type of recovery that doesn't require a lot of what the mainstream thinks is recovery, which is a lot of reassurance, a lot of ups and downs. My OCD is really bothering me today. This kind of language does not have to exist. And if you're using that kind of language, you don't have to be in that position. You can move on from that. If you'd like to know how to get to that place, please email support@peacefullywired.com and join, or I recommend both. You can join our Peacefully Wired OCD community if you want to know information about that. Hit up the comments and I'll send you a link for that. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I know I passed that all up in the beginning, but like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think about the content. And if you want to work with me, like I said, please shoot me an email and I'll show you what that looks like. support@peacefullywired.com. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.